Welcome to all of you. In this video we will discuss about the paper of Business Mathematics and Statistics 2012 for BCOM I Punjab University. Let's move to the first question, that the mid values of a frequency distribution are given as 115, 125 and so on, and frequencies are also given 625, 48 and so on. Calculate arithmetic mean, mode and coefficient of skewness. So in this question, as you are seeing here, that it is a group data because frequency is given, but classes or class boundaries are not given. Instead of that, only X is given, or we can say that class marks are given. So we have two different methods to calculate these three. For example, first of all, in case of arithmetic mean, there is no problem in the data to calculate arithmetic mean, because arithmetic mean is always equals to sum of fx divided by sum of f. So we just simply have 59725 divided by 389, and that will be equals to 153.53. But in case of mode, if we want to calculate mode through a discrete data method, so we just find the maximum frequency, and that is 116. So in front of 116, what is x? X is 155. So mode will be 155. And call Pearson's coefficient of skewness, which is equals to mean minus mode divided by standard deviation, and we have no problem to calculate standard deviation with this data, because formula for standard deviation is equals to sum of fx square over sum of f minus mean square, and we have mean, and we just need one more calculation, and that is fx square, which is equals to fx multiplied by x. And after the calculation, the sum of fx square is 9271725. So after putting the values into the formula of standard deviation, we can calculate standard deviation, that is 16.226. So finally we put all these values into the formula of Pearson coefficient of skewness, 153.53 minus 155 divided by 16.226, and skewness is indicating that there is negative skewness in the data, minus 0.09. Now we have another method. We can calculate class boundaries through these class marks. For doing this, just simply note the difference, or we can say h, out of these values. So what is h? H is 10, and 10 divided by 2, that is equals to 5. So one time subtract 5 from this class mark, and that will be your lower class boundary, and add the 5 into this class mark, and that will be your upper class boundary. So similar method can be applied to all these x values. So one time you subtract h by 2 from this class mark, and one time you can add h by 2 to this class mark, and that will be your upper class boundary. So h is the difference of x values. So here now you can calculate mode through this method also, L plus fm minus f1 divided by fm minus f1 plus fm minus f2 multiplied by h. And how can we select the class? Simply the class which has maximum frequency is your model class. So L will be 150, fm will be 116, f1 will be 72, and f2 will be 60, and multiply by h. H is the difference of x values, so difference is 10. So after putting the values into the data, this is more accurate form of mode, and that is 154.4. and after putting the values into the formula, you can calculate skewness, that will be minus 0.05. Second question is that the number of unit produced by a process X and the cost of producing unit Y were made as data is given here, n is given, sum of x is given, sum of x square is also given, sum of y is given, sum of y square 162, sum of xy is 132, and we need to calculate two things. One is the coefficient of correlation. Lot of time we already calculated in the previous formulas, same way will be applied here. And second thing, the regression equation of y on x. This is also calculated lot of times in the previous papers, so same formula will be applied once again. So in the case of coefficient of correlation, first of all we need mean of x, that will be 5, mean of y, that will be 6.25. after that we will get standard deviation of x, that will be 1.58 after putting the values into the formula, and standard deviation of y after putting the values into the formula will be 1.1989, and finally we will apply the formula for correlation coefficient, that is equals to sum of xy over n minus mean of x multiplied by mean of y whole divided by standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y. So after putting the values into the formula, correlation coefficient is 0.9238, which is indicating the positive relation. Second thing which we are going to calculate is the regression equation of y on x, which is equals to y hat equals to alpha plus beta x, which is equals to correlation coefficient multiplied by standard deviation of y divided by standard deviation of x. So after the calculation, regression coefficient y on x will be 0.70, and alpha will be calculated through this method, y bar or mean of y minus this regression coefficient multiplied by mean of x, and the result will be 2.75. so just after the calculation, just simply put up these two values into this equation. So alpha will be 2.75 plus 0.70 will be regression coefficient y on x. So this will be slope and this will be intercept. B part is that construct index number of prices with the help of following data by Lespes, Pastures, Fisher and Marshall Edgeworth. This question, this type of question also calculated several times in previous papers. So simply we need for calculations P0 Q0, P0 Q1, P1 Q0, P1 Q1. So base year price will be P0, base year quantity will be Q0 as it is indicated here. Current year price will be P1, current year quantity will be Q1, which is indicated here. So after putting the values here and after the calculation, the sum of these four will be given here. Sum of P0 Q0 5720, sum of P0 Q1 6860, sum of P1 Q0 7040 and sum of P1 Q1 8440. And now we finally, through these four calculations, we can calculate these four weighted index composite indices. Lespes index is equals to sum of P1 Q0 divided by sum of P0 Q0 multiplied by 100, and Pastures index will be sum of P1 Q1 divided by sum of P0 Q1 multiplied by 100. So after putting the values into these two formulas, Lespes index will be 123.07 and Pastures index will be 123.07. Now Fisher's index, first of all we take the product of Lespes and Pastures, sum of P1 Q0 divided by sum of P0 Q0 multiplied by sum of P1 Q1 divided by sum of P0 Q1. Take the under root and multiply the result with 100. So Fisher's index will be 123.04, and in the similar way, instead of product we just take the sum sign in both equations, sum of P1 Q0, sum of P1 Q0 plus sum of P1 Q1 divided by sum of P0 Q0 plus sum of P0 Q1 multiplied by 100, and Marshall index will be 123.05. Question number 3 is about the chi-square. Test independence of two classifications in the following contingency table at 5% level of significance. If total is not given in the question, you can calculate by yourself. It will be needed in the further calculations. So tabulated value is also given in the question, 12.59. So finally we come to the solution. First step is the testing the hypothesis. Null hypothesis, there is no association between alphas and betas. In null hypothesis, in chi-square test, we always take null hypothesis that there is no relation between these two variables. And in alternative hypothesis, we consider that there is relationship between these two variables. Second step is level of significance, which is given in the question, 5%, so 0.05. Step number 3 is the formula for chi-square, that is test statistic, which is chi-square equals to sum of FO minus FE whole square divided by FE. Step number 4 is the calculation of expected frequencies. I already discussed with you that how can we calculate expected frequency. Simply row total multiplied by column total divided by subtotal. Here you need this table. For example, if we are going to calculate expected frequency for this observed frequency 42, these are all observed frequencies, FO, and FE will be calculated by ourselves. So how can we calculate, for example, if we are going to calculate expected frequency for this 42, row total multiplied by column total divided by subtotal. Similarly, for 83, row total multiplied by column total divided by subtotal. For 72, row total 269 multiplied by column total 247 divided by subtotal 851, and so on. And all the calculations are given here. You can pause the video and see the calculations. So these are FEs, expected frequencies. So now we have observed frequencies and expected frequencies. So finally we take observed frequencies in first column, and after that expected frequencies in second column. And first of all we are going to subtract these two. After that we are going to take the square of the subtraction, and finally we will divide each FO minus FE square divided by a respective FE. So 43.56 divided by 35.40 equals to 1.30, 1.230, 508, and so on. So sum of FO minus FE square divided by FE is equals to 9.906586. Step number 6 is the critical region. How can we calculate? We need two things. One is the degree of freedom, and second thing which we need here is the level of significance. Level of significance is 0.05, and degree of freedom is equals to row minus 1 multiplied by column minus 1. There are 3 rows and 4 columns, so 3 minus 1 multiplied by 4 minus 1, so that will be equals to 6. So at 6 degree of freedom, 0.05 level of significance, chi-square tabulated value will be 12.59, and last step will be the conclusion, that as you are seeing here that our calculated value falls in the acceptance region, because tabulated value is 12.59 and this calculated value is less than the tabulated value. So if it falls in the acceptance region, we will accept null hypothesis, and we can say that there is no relationship between alphas and betas. Question number 4. Population consists of the 5 values 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Take all possible samples of size n equals to 2 from this population without replacement. Find mean and variance for population, mean and unbiased variance for each sample, and number 3, average of the means of all samples and average of the variances of all samples. So it is little bit different questions, with respect to the previous questions asked in the previous papers. So first of all, we are going to calculate the mean and variance for population. So population is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Sum of x is 30 and sum of x square is 220. Mean population is equals to sum of uppercase x divided by uppercase n. 30 by 5 equals to 6. N is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So population mean is 6. Population variance sigma square will be equals to sum of uppercase x square divided by uppercase n minus mean of population square, and finally the variance will be 8. So first question is calculated. After that, now we are going to calculate the second thing, that mean and unbiased variance for each sample. So first of all, we need to make the samples. For that, because it is the case of without replacement, so we can calculate first of all possible samples through combination method, uppercase n c lowercase n. Lowercase n is the sample size and population size is denoted by uppercase n, so 5c2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5c2, 10. And now what are these 10 samples? First sample is 2, 4, or you can see from here, 2, 4, 2, 6, 2, 8, 2, 10. I am repeating once again, 2, 4, 2, 6, 2, 8 and 2, 10. After that, skip 2. Now 4, 6, 4, 8, 4, 10. Now skip 4, 6, 8, 6, 10. Now skip 6 and last sample will be 8, 10. And these samples are given here. After that, take the sum of these samples. 4 plus 2 equals to 6, 6 plus 2 equals to 8. And now calculate the mean for each sample. So sum of x divided by n is the formula for mean, as you know. Sum of x is 6 and there are 2 digits, so n will be 2. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are all sample means for each sample. After that, the second thing which is asked in the question, that calculate the variance for each sample. So simple formula for variance is given here. It is another formula for variance. So you can calculate very easily, that take the 2 minus 3 square plus 4 minus 3 square divided by 2, and the variance for first sample will be 1. After that, 2 minus 4 and 6 minus 4 square divided by 2 equals to 4. 2 minus 5 square plus 10 minus 5 square, 8 minus 5 square divided by 2 equals to 9, and so on. So in this way you can calculate the variance for each sample. Now third question is that to calculate average of the mean of all samples and average of the variances of all samples. So now we need to calculate the average for these two results, for means and for variance. So it is very simple, that these are x for you. So calculate sum of x bar will be 60. So sum of x bar divided by n will be 60 by 10, and that will be equals to 6. And similarly, we can calculate mean for variance. So first of all, take the variances here in the table and take the simple mean. So sum of s square divided by n, so sum of s square equals to 50, and 50, there are 10 observations, 50 divided by 10 equals to 5. Question number 5, that if A matrix is 0, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 1, then obtain A inverse. So here it is, I think it is a new question which is not asked in the previous papers. So first step is to calculate the minors. And how can we calculate minors? Start from 0, and we will calculate 3 plus 3 6 plus 3 9. We will have to calculate 9 minors. And step is very simple, that first take 0. So just eliminate the row and column in which 0 is, and remaining values will be 2 3 1 1, 2 3 1 1. After that you can take 1 and eliminate the row and column in which 1 is. So remaining value will be 1 3 3 1, 1 3 3 1. After that take 3 and eliminate the row and column in which 3 is, and remaining values will be 1 2 3 1. So 1 2 3 1. After that take 1 and eliminate the row and column in which 1 is. So other values are 1 3 1 1, 1 3 1 1, and similarly we can calculate all minors through this process. So after taking the determinants, simply cross multiply these two and subtract the result. So 2 multiplied by 1 minus 3 multiplied by 1 is equals to minus 1. Similarly 1 multiplied by 1 minus 3 multiplied by 3 is equals to minus 8. Similarly 1 multiplied by 1 minus 2 multiplied by 3 equals to minus 5, and so on. So these are all minors, as you are seeing here, 9 minors. So just place these 9 minors into the matrix form. So these are matrix of minors. So after that we are going to take the step number 2, and that is to take the cofactors of minors. So first of all, place minors here which you calculated in the previous step here, and after that place this table here, plus minus plus, minus plus minus, and plus minus plus. So after placing this table, now just tally these minors with this table. So first of all minus 1 and plus, so minus and plus will be minus, so result will be written as minus 1. After that minus 8 and minus, it will become plus, so it will be 8 here instead of minus 8. After that minus 5 and plus and minus will be minus, so minus 5 will be here. After that minus 2 and minus will be plus 2. Minus 9 and plus 9 will be minus 9. Minus 3 and minus will be plus 3. Minus 3 and minus will be plus 3. Similarly minus 3 and plus minus 3. Minus 3 and minus will be plus 3, and minus 1 and plus will be minus 1. So this is the second step, that is called taking cofactors. After that, in third step, we will calculate the adjoint, and adjoint is very simple, that take the transpose of these cofactors. What is transpose? Transpose is just changing the order of row or column. So if minus 1, 8 and minus 5 is in the form of row, it will be converted into column. Similarly 2, minus 9 and 3 is in the form of row, it will be converted into column. So this will be called as adjoint. So in first step we will calculate minors, in second step we will calculate cofactors, and transpose of cofactors is equals to adjoint. Now fourth step is to calculate the determinant, and lot of time in previous papers in Kramer rule of 3 variable I told you about the method of taking determinant, which is very simple. So here we calculate that it is already calculated here, but I can tell you about the method, that first take 0 and eliminate the row and column in which 0 is, so this row and column will be eliminated, and 2 multiplied by 1 minus 3 multiplied by 1 which will be equals to -1. After that, place the minus sign. So the next digit is 1, or you can instead take this one or this one, it is up to you. So -1 and take the determinant, which will be -8. It is already calculated here in the first row. So instead of the whole calculation, using whole calculation, once again you can apply these three. These are already calculated determinants. So just place 0, -1 and 3, 0, -1 and +3, and after that just multiply these three values. So it will be equals to determinant. If you want to see or understand the whole process to calculate the determinant, you can consult the previous papers in which lot of time determinants of three variables are calculated. So determinant is -7, and finally an inverse is equals to adjoint of A divided by A determinant. So adjoint is here, divided by determinant is here. So simply -1 by -7. Similarly 2 by -7 if you want to calculate further, but answer is already calculated here. After that, solve for x, the equation x equals to x plus 3 under root -3. So first of all, take square root on both sides to eliminate this root, and remaining will be, this will be open, a square plus b square plus 2ab formula will be applied. So x square plus 3 square, which will be equals to 9, and 2ab will be equals to 2 multiplied by 3, 6, and b is a is x, so 6x equals to this root will be eliminated with this 2, or we can say power. So x plus 3 will be remaining, and after solving this will be equals to x square plus 5x plus 6, and now factorization method can be applied, or quadratic method also can be applied. So finally x will be -2 and -3. B part is that solve the following system of equation. So 9x plus 15y equals to 123, and 15x plus 93y equals to 201. So first of all, multiply equation number 1 by 15 and equation number 2 by 9. We get we want to eliminate this x. If you know the digit through which if we multiply to that digit and we can subtract the variable, then it's okay. But if you find any difficulty, so it is very simple to understand that if we want to cancel this x, so upper equation will be multiplied with this 15 and lower equation will be multiplied with this 9. In this way we can easily eliminate x. So after the multiplication and changing the sign, x will be cancelled, and 225y minus 837y will be equals to -612y equals to 1845 minus 1809 will be equals to 36, and finally y will be equals to -0.0588. Now put the value of y into any equation to get the value of x. So we are taking equation number 1 here, 9x plus 15y equals to 123, and just put the value of y here and solve the equation, and that will be equals to 9x minus 0.822 equals to 123, and this 0 minus 0.822, when it goes to the other side of the equation, it will become plus 0.822, and finally 9x equals to 123.822, and x will be equals to 13.758. Question number 7, part A, show that the sum of geometric series of 6 terms 1 by 3 minus 1 by 9, 1 by 27 minus 1 by 81 is 182 divided by 729. So it is the case of geometric series where alpha 1 is this 1 by 3 and r is this minus 1 by 9, which is less than 1. So first we will find 6th term with the formula. So what is the formula? In geometric series, to find the term, The formula is alpha n equals to alpha 1 r raised to power n minus 1. So we want to find alpha 6 or a6, and a1 is 1 by 3 and r is minus 1 by 9 raised to power n minus 1. So we are going to solve the 6 terms. So n will be 6 minus 1, and it will become finally 1 by 3 minus 1 by 9 raised to power 5, and finally it will become minus 1 by 177,147. After that, now we are going to take the sum. So sum formula will be applied here, which is equals to alpha 1 minus alpha 1 r raised to power n divided by 1 minus r. So alpha 1 is 1 by 3 minus alpha 1 once again 1 by 3, and r is minus 1 by 9 raised to power 6 divided by 1 minus r. 1 minus r is minus 1 by 9. So after solving this, it will become equals to 182 divided by 729. So it is proved. B is the first term is in arithmetic progression is 5, the last term 45, and the sum is 400. Find number of terms and common difference in the series. So Sn equals to n by 2 multiplied by alpha plus L, where Sn is 400 and first term is 5 and last term, which is L, is 45. So here last term is 45. So Sn is 400 equals to n by 2, 5 plus 45, and finally it will become equals to 8, and 400 divided by 50 equals to 8. So n will be 8 multiplied by 2, which will be 16. Now last term can be find out through L equals to a plus n minus 1 d. So last term is 45 equals to a will be 5, which is first term or alpha 1, plus n minus 1, n is 16, minus 1 and d, and finally we can solve for the difference. So difference will be 2.67. Question number 8, that Mohsin had a note for rupees 15,000 with an interest rate of 6%. The note was dated January 12, 2003 and maturity date was 90 days after date. On January 27, 2003, he took the note to his bank, which discounted it at a discount rate of 7%. How much did he receive? Take 360 days in the year. It is the same type of question which is already asked in the previous, I think 2009, 8, 9 or 10 paper. So first of all, we will need to calculate the total days because normally note or bill, which you already I think studied in the bills of exchange, that normally bill consist on 90 days. So if it is written on 12 January 2003, so January days, remaining days are 19, February days are 30, and days of March are 30, and days of April are 11. So due date, maturity date will be April 11th. Now after taking the maturity date, we just first of all note the data, that what is the principal amount, which is 15,000, and n is the 3-month. Interest rate is because 6% is annually, and we want to calculate monthly, so there are 12 months in a year, so 6 by 12 will be equals to 0.5, and in the fraction it will become 0.05. So now formula will be applied for simple interest, which is equals to PIN, and P is the principal, I is the interest rate, and N is the time period. So 15,000 multiplied by 3 is the time period, because we are going to calculate the interest for 3 months, and multiply by 0.005, and the interest will be 225. Amount or future value of note will be 15,000 plus, because this 15,000 is your principal amount and this 225 is the interest, so total bill will be 15,225. Now discounted date 27th January, and date of maturity days of January will be, remaining days will be 4, and days of February 30, days of March 30, days of April 11, and total days are 75. Because okay, now discount rate is 7%, which is equals to 7%, okay, which will be equals to 0.07. So principal amount now 15225, and interest is simply 15225 multiplied by 0.07, so 1065.75, and interest will be 1065.75 divided by 360 multiplied by 75, which will be, because this is annual interest and we want to calculate interest for 75 days, so 1065.75 divided by 360, because it is mentioned in the question that take 360 days in a year, so interest will be 222. Discounted value of interest bearing note will be 15225 minus 222 will be equals to 15003. So thank you very much. Soon I will come with another paper. So stay blessed and stay safe and take care the persons near you.